The Red Slippers. Rosy Red was a sweet little girl with beautiful brown eyes, soft pink cheeks, and dark hair. Sadly, her mother died the day she was born, so Rosy Red was cared for by her grandmother, who loved her dearly. On her first birthday, Rosy Red's father gave her some red slippers. As Rosy Red's feet grew, her red slippers got bigger too, so they always fitted her. No one knew that the slippers were magic. One day, when Rosy Red returned home from a walk in the woods, she found that her grandmother had gone. In the house were three strangers. "Who are you?" asked Rosy Red. "I'm your new mother," said one, "and these are your new sisters." Rosy Red's father had married again, and his new wife had sent her grandmother away. Rosy Red's new mother was mean to her. She made her fetch water from the well and carry the heavy bucket all the way home. Her sisters often shouted at her too. Rosy Red was sad, so she didn't wear her red slippers anymore. Then one day, as Rosy Red lowered the bucket into the well, she sang, "Swing and sweep and don't stop until you come back up to the top." A genie was sleeping at the bottom of the well, and Rosy Red's song woke him. The genie loved her sweet song so much that he dropped some precious jewels into the bucket. Rosy Red thought, "If I give these jewels to my sisters, maybe they will be kinder to me." So she handed the jewels to her sisters and told them all about what happened at the well. But the sisters weren't happy, and they snatched the jewels and the bucket from Rosy Red. The sisters ran to the well, and as they lowered the bucket, they sang Rosy Red's song. But the genie didn't like their croaky voices, so he filled their bucket with toads and frogs. The sisters were angry and threw Rosy Red out of the house. She just had time to put on her red slippers, then she ran away into the woods. After a while it began to get dark, and Rosy Red was frightened. She saw a light in a cave, and an old woman invited her inside. It was Rosy Red's grandmother. Rosy Red was so tired that she soon fell asleep. When she awoke, she found that one of her red slippers was missing. "I must go and look for it," said Rosy Red. "You can't do that. A storm is raging," said her grandmother. So Rosy Red went back to sleep. A little while later, Rosy Red was woken by a man's voice. The man had found a red slipper, and he asked Rosy Red's grandmother if she knew who it belonged to. But the grandmother was afraid that Rosy Red's stepsisters had sent him to find her, so she said she didn't know, and the strange man left. The next day the man called again. He said, "I am a prince. I must find who this shoe belongs to." So Rosy Red bravely stepped out of her hiding place. She was wearing her one red slipper. The prince put the other red slipper on Rosy Red's bare foot. "Let us get to know each other. If you like me, we will get married and you will be my princess." So Rosy Red left the cave with her grandmother and the prince. She spent many happy days living in the prince's palace, and soon they were married. And from then on, she always wore her magical red slippers.